Not a huge football guy, at least compared to basketball, but I am a diehard Colts fan, which is a curse that was born onto me that I can't shake. But I do really follow them pretty closely, and I wanted to make a football video. Long-time friends know that I started making football content like 6 years ago before I even did basketball content. I want to talk about Alec Pierce because I love him, and I think he's going to be really, really sick this year. It is remarkable how and like if you like absolutely hate this and think this is horrible, please tell me and I will never do this again. But I hope people like it. Alec Pierce won a ridiculous amount of deep balls last year where the ball was underthrown by 5 yards because he had geriatric Matt Ryan under center, where it is clear that Alec Pierce has a step on this defender. If the ball is dropped right about here in between the safety, it's not an easy throw, but it's a makeable throw, then that's a much easier catch than Pierce having to turn around, snag this ball in traffic, keep his feet in balance. The hands are amazing. His ball tracking, as we're going to see, is amazing. There are like quite a few of these plays where Matt Ryan just underthrows him. Again, has a bit of a step. Matt Ryan throws it like 10 yards under. Pierce is able to stop, track the ball. His ball tracking is really fantastic, which was a hugely important skill to have with a QB like Matt Ryan, but hopefully will be less important with Anthony Richardson. He was so good at, again, like realizing immediately, like the exact same as the first play where he has a step, but this ball's not going to get there. His like head is turned really early into this route, and Pierce is able to turn his body. His balance and like body control on these routes is just very good. He's obviously not like a burner, but he's really athletic in the way that he can like shift his momentum and change directions and stuff. And I feel like, just basketball, football, it's all like tools and body movements, and there's always stuff correlated, but the coordination is wildly impressive. And it's hilarious to see what happened when Sam Pierce played with I want to say like a real quarterback who threw deep, but this is Sam Ehlinger. But even then, a QB who can put it out in front of Alec Pierce can actually like piece these safeties instead of putting it right here at the 45. Can like reap the full benefits of Pierce, who can win at the line with his physicality and decent speed, and again, really great tracking the ball. CB can't get back. It's an easy win. Obviously, he had this like game-winning touchdown against the Jags where we see an actual good Matt Ryan throw where Pierce is able to, like, you can't really see because I don't have all 22 because I don't know, broke. But Pierce is so good winning at the end of routes with his hands, like shoves and pushes and fights away corners and away, he's not drawing penalties, extends and finishes that play with a touchdown. The deep ball stuff is wildly impressive. Again, I don't know how many back shoulder fades he'll be getting with Anthony Richardson, at least in year one, but it's something that, like, these timing throws are going to be really easy with Pierce. I think having a guy like that just is going to be such a help for a young QB like Tony Rich, who's gonna Anthony Richardson, who could struggle with these kind of more advanced NFL throws earlier, and having a guy like Pierce with great like instincts and body movements and body control and all that stuff, and of course someone who's gonna be crazy in the red zone, like one of these true like throw it up, does not matter how contested he is, goal line fades where he's gonna win these hand fights and he's gonna be able to turn and out physical most DBs. And it's not like he's like so slow as we'll keep talking about. Like he can win a little bit off the line as much as he needs to, but of course since he's pushing to the sideline, he can just slow up, get in like box out position, and just snag this. Pierce is going to be a big help for AR, who I think is going to make a lot more of these kind of throws than Matt Ryan did. Pierce was not great in the preseason. He had a lot of like uncharacteristic drops, but I like that one, but I don't think that I don't know. I'm not super worried about Pierce going forward, but it's the same kind of stuff where Anthony Richardson, it's inconsistent, but the flashes of like touch and placement are really impressive, and the arm is obviously huge. But he has a quarterback who's going to like relish these kind of deep routes. Again, we see this same situation where Pierce has the corner beat and the safety's coming over. I think this is a little worse positioning, but Anthony Richardson's basically placing this right on the boundary, and This is obviously a difficult catch, but it's a catch that we know Pierce can make, that he made all last season, that he made in college. And I think they're going to help each other a lot. I think mostly just Pierce being like such a safety blanket for Richardson in terms of these plays. And even though like he and Pittman, neither of them are really like tier 1 like star receivers, I think Pittman's pretty good, but they will help a young quarterback a lot by not making mistakes, by being smart. The high-end quickness route running is definitely the biggest issue, where oftentimes he'll rely Pierce on his physicality and his hands, as we've seen, to win, and that doesn't always work, especially against more physical, stronger DBs. He really struggles on routes where he has to like push off and change directions quickly, where this is like a zig kind of route that is typical of slot receivers and stuff, where you like go in and out, and Pierce just like doesn't have the quickness, the change of direction as like an athlete, as a mover, to really make this stuff work. We can see again that it's just difficult for Pierce to sit down and turn explosively. He just doesn't get away from DBs very often, and they ran him on like a couple screens last year. I definitely don't think that's the smartest usage of Pierce. Pittman is way better for that, and obviously Downs, but it's not like he's a horrible route runner. I think of it as like his, again, like in terms of basketball defense stuff, like his straight up like sharp one move lateral, like, you know, quick in terms of like handling or creation. When you have guys who can just like burst by, or like simple 1-2 crossovers, where Pierce can take like one hard step, plant, and with his physical frame and amazing hands, he doesn't need a ton of separation to get to the rim, to catch the ball there. Again, we see him winning inside here, little push off, using the arms, planting that inside foot, getting open and making a tough catch. And again, he's not like crossing guys up and creating a ton of space as a route runner, but he's doing the simple stuff. He does what he needs to do for like his archetype and his role. He's not a yak guy, really. He's not a huge like number 1 alpha separator, but he can run these simple routes and change of paces, like especially given how good of a deep threat he is, that defenses will have to respect Pierce's ability to like kill them over the top, which he will, you know, inevitably do. And he's going to be so reliable on these simple plays. He's going to be like just a chain moving kind of guy. Someone who you need 8 yards on third down, you can line him up outside, dig out. Even like a lofted pass by Matt Ryan, opposite field, Pierce is draped all over and still manages to snag that one as well. And I think this could be something that we see this year with Alec Pierce. More of these like boot play actions with Anthony Richardson's speed, also giving him simple like layered reads. You know, you read this defender, either you hit the deep cross, you hit the check down, or you run. Obviously, Anthony Richardson's going to be way better at that than Sam Ehlinger, but of course, Pierce can like separate enough in short areas. Is going to be great for, like pathfinding over the middle and being a secure catcher for Richardson. Like, he did not drop a lot of passes last year. Like, he was in the bottom like 50 in terms of drop rate, and obviously a lot of these guys didn't have as many like targets as he did. I think mind-numbingly he is top 40 or top 45 in average depth of target last year, which is insane considering he played most of his snaps with like senile Matt Ryan. It is unbelievable what he did and how like consistent of a deep threat he was last year. I mean, again, it's even like a deeper ADOT than DK Metcalf, Stephon Diggs, Tyler Lockett, which is honestly kind of crazy to me given how good Geno was at deep balls last year. But point being, imagine what this could look like with Anthony Richardson, with a quarterback that has not only like a competent arm, but a really ridiculous one. And he's just been very solid. Is, as this tweet says, 5th in EPA per play over the last couple years. Obviously, T.Y. played like 10 games that year, and these 3 are all not on the team, and so it's him and Pittman as the most productive offensive players per that metric. So I think there's a lot to be excited about Alec Pierce this year. I think even with like a rebuilding young offense, he could definitely take a step, even if not crazy in production. I think we see him used more and kind of just bailed out more, where he doesn't have to create so much on his own on these deep balls. Obviously, Anthony Richardson, like running RPOs and stuff, is going to love getting him quick balls on slants and like crossing routes. But he is such an incredible deep threat. I mean, this is kind of like the Pittman issue, right? And Pittman's great out of the slot too, so they can definitely exist together. The Colts don't have like a true number one, like stud creator receiver, but Pierce is such a good like complementary number two, number three outside X receiver type. Just like get on the line. He's gonna win deep for you. He's gonna be like solid and reliable underneath, and that's a player that I'm really excited to watch this year, and I really love. So let me know if you thought this was horrible. But I like the Colts. I basically don't really follow any team like this, but they're gonna get smoked by the Jags in week 1. Literally bet your house on that if you have any chance. Like bet the house on the over and bet the house on the Colts losing. Just do it.